Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urius Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And welcome to the channel that brings power gaming to the next level. Today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're going to talk about the spell Sequester. We're giving this one a C- for several reasons. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video out. All right. Sequester is a 7th level spell that is only usable by wizards. That's one of the reasons why I am giving it a C-. It is not usable by a lot of classes. It is one action. It has a range of touch. It has a verbal, somatic, and material component, and the component is a powder composed of diamond, emerald, ruby, and sapphire dust worth at least 5,000 gold pieces, which disappears. Reason number 2 why we're giving this a C-, because it's not that great of a spell to begin with, and it costs a whole lot of money, and it can only be used by one class. So, however, it lasts for a very long time, which we're going to talk about. So by means of this spell, a willing creature, let me say that one again, a willing creature or an object can be hidden away, safe from detection for the duration. So you can't cast the spell on enemies because they're not willing. Now it says an object. It does not say how big an object. It does not say dimensions of an object. It doesn't say how small an object. It doesn't give any metrics whatsoever at all. If any of you can find in any of the rules, the official rules, not the Jeremy Crawford tweets, those are not official. The official rules, Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, Sage Advice, anything. I've looked, I can't find it. If you can find it, and you can tell me the definition of an object in Dungeons and Dragons, 5th edition, please let me know. So you can hide an object away safe from detection for the duration. When you cast a spell and touch the target, which is a willing creature or an object, it becomes invisible and cannot be targeted by divination spells or perceived through scrying sensors created by divination spells like scrying or clairvoyance or things like that. If the target is a creature, if the target is a willing creature, it falls into a state of suspended animation. Time ceases to flow for it and does not grow older. You can set a condition for the spell to end early because it is a duration of until dispelled. The condition can be anything you choose, but it must occur or be visible within 1 mile of the target. Examples include after 1,000 years or when the Tarrasque awakens. The spell also ends if the target takes any damage whatsoever at all. Okay, so pros. It hides objects. It hides objects well because they cannot be seen with normal sight because they're invisible, and they cannot be targeted by divination spells, so that means divination won't work, augury won't work, clairvoyance won't work, see invisible won't work, because see invisible, guess what? See invisible is a divination spell. So even this is though this is invisible, you cannot use see invisible to see it. It's a divination spell. Can't be targeted. Well, maybe I'll take that back a little bit. It can't be targeted by a divination spell. Are you targeting something when you see invisible? I don't know. Maybe that's interpretable. But no clairvoyance, no scrying, none of that. So scrying sensors don't work. So that's a good thing. It hides objects. Doesn't say how big the objects are. It just says it hides objects. Now, I know there are some arguments out there for an object is one thing. Technically, a sword is several different objects. It just is. A crossbow is several different objects. A bow is several different objects. I'm picking smaller things, but those have multiple parts. A castle is several different objects. Maybe talk to your DM and come to a conclusion about that. But this is a 7th level spell that does cost 5,000 gold pieces, so it should be in that instance, pretty powerful. And because there's no determination of the size of the object, you kind of have to work that out. But again, a rock could be argued to be one object, whereas a sword is not one object. It's multiple objects because it's got multiple parts. All right. Cons for this spell. It's a willing creature. So this is not a combat spell. You are not going to be using this in combat. You can't use it on an enemy. And it costs 5,000 gold pieces worth of varying dusts of gems, which you may or may not be able to get your hands on. It's just not 5,000 gold pieces. It's 5,000 gold pieces worth of very specific mixtures of diamond, emerald, ruby, and sapphire gems. Okay, so one thing I do want to address is, what is an object? That's a very good question to ask, particularly for this spell. Because if an object is one thing, because there's no size determination, you technically, a wizard could cast this on their tower, and the tower would disappear from sight and from divination spells and from scrying. You could cast it on a castle. Now, a castle can be a conglomeration of different objects. The walls of the castle could be construed as one object. They would disappear. A keep depends, the wall. It could be one big building. That could be made to disappear. I like the idea of a wizard casting this on their tower and making their tower disappear. The entrance to a dungeon, something like that, could be made to disappear. A particular item that the players want to keep secret can disappear. A big bad guy could cast this on themselves, causing themselves to disappear and be suspended until a certain trigger happens. I see this spell as more of a DM tool than anything else. This is not really a player tool. There are instances where players could use it. Don't get me wrong. There are instances where wizard players could use this. Bards can also get this spell as well. They can get this spell at 14th level through Magic Secrets. So you may want to hide things. You could come up with different things, different instances where you may want to use this. But I mainly see this as a DM spell. I think that this could be weaved into encounters. Wizard is making a dungeon, has a big giant pile of diamond, emerald, ruby, and sapphire dust. An evil wizard could be making a dungeon, has a big pile of the diamond, emerald, ruby, and sapphire dust, and sprinkles objects, traps, creatures, etc. throughout the dungeon, wherein those things will trigger if certain conditions are met. A dial is turned, a button is pushed, a lever is pulled down or up, a square is stepped into, a door is opened, a chest is opened, a drawer on a desk is opened. You name it. When those triggers happen, then maybe a creature appears, maybe a trap is activated that was put in a suspended animation. I don't know. Use your imagination. All right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.